first saw Facebook make false statements to Congress that Meta had no interest in VR safety unless it could drive interaction and thus profit. Meta VR sales were banned in Germany for 2 years over concerns about how Meta treats user data. I'm here to discuss Meta's manipulation of research to cover up dangers facing billions across Meta's products, and of particular concern, the millions of children using Meta's virtual reality products. I also want to recognize and thank the 5 past and current Meta employees, all researchers like me, who have worked directly on creating Meta's products, who made the brave decision to be a part of this disclosure that brings us all here. My name's Jason Sadezon. Growing up in the 90s and in the middle of Missouri, I saw both the value and the problems that advances in technology brought the world. After a PhD in integrative neuroscience, I wanted to use my research experience to make these technologies and products better for the people that use them. Most recently, I spent 6 years as a researcher at Meta, working in some of their most sensitive spaces and tasked with understanding users, their needs, and using this to try and make their products safer. I am here today because it is evident that Meta consistently chooses profit over safety. I'm not the first to discuss this, as repeated whistleblowers have shared Meta's reckless disregard for users. However, in the wake of past whistleblowers, Meta has chosen to ignore the problems they created and bury evidence of users' negative experiences. I worked at Meta from 2018 to 2024. During these 6 years, I witnessed data scandals, multiple whistleblower disclosures about Meta's disregard for users, and mounting public pressure for Meta to address these issues. I saw the company respond to these pressures by deliberately compromising internal processes, policies, and research to protect company profits over their users. During my first role at Meta, I led integrity research for Facebook Marketplace, and the data was clear. Marketplace causes suffering for users, including financial loss, stolen and counterfeit items, and personal safety issues ranging from being sexually propositioned by strangers to physical assaults and attempted kidnapping. My time on Marketplace was my first exposure to how Facebook deprioritized safety for boosting user engagement. Simple safety investments, such as not allowing people to message strangers with a single click, were flatly rejected because product teams were afraid to do anything that could decrease engagement, the metric determining success and bonuses. It was around this time I also first saw Facebook make false statements to Congress, particularly about their inability to estimate stolen goods on Marketplace. Their statements directly contradict my own internal research, which I've submitted with this whistleblower disclosure. In the fall of 2021, Frances Haugen disclosed to Congress how Meta's products fuel mental health issues for teens, including body dysmorphia and self-harm. Meta's immediate response to congressional concern was not to do the right thing, but rather roll out new processes and policies to manipulate, control, and erase data. We researchers were directed how to write reports to limit risk to Meta. Internal work groups were locked down, making it nearly impossible to share data and coordinate between teams to keep users safe. Mark Zuckerberg disparaged whistleblowers, claiming past disclosures were, quote, used to construct a false narrative. Despite Meta's attempts to prevent researchers from collecting necessary insights, the research we were able to do continued to show the dangers of Meta's products on users. This only highlights the sheer scale, severity, and prevalence of harm on these Meta products. In early 2022, I moved to Meta's Reality Labs to lead integrity research and help improve those using Meta's VR headsets. Virtual reality allows someone to wear a headset and experience an alternate reality, to play games, watch movies, socialize with others. For Meta, VR is designed to push socialization above all, as Meta saw this as a path to unbridled engagement and profit. The company invested billions, integrated social media like Instagram into headsets, and even rebranded as, quote, Meta to align with the future of the company. From my first days in Reality Labs, Meta leadership and legal teams were in complete control of the research I was conducting. This was crucial research because this was a largely untested technology, but I soon learned that Meta had no interest in VR safety unless it could drive interaction and thus profit. After Meta VR sales were banned in Germany for 2 years over concerns about how Meta treats user data, in 2022, Germany allowed sales to resume. When I was asked to perform research in Germany, I understood that Meta was trying to show that their VR headsets were safe for German users. However, when our research uncovered that underage children using Meta VR in Germany were subject to demands for sex acts, nude photos, and other acts that no child should ever be exposed to, Meta demanded that we erase any evidence of such dangers that we saw. Despite Meta's attempts to hide these sensitive findings, my research still revealed emotional and psychological damage, particularly to women who were sexually solicited, molested, or worse. In response, Meta demanded I change my research in the future to not gather this data on emotional and psychological harm. When my colleagues' research showed the emotional impact of children being threatened by physical harm by strangers online, Meta not only restricted internal sharing, but manipulated reports to obscure any emotional damage. During my time working...
Your time's expired, so let's wrap up.
Of course. If I had one thing to say, I would just want to make it very clear that Meta is incapable of change without being forced by Congress. Whether it's engagement or profits, at any cost, they have frankly had unearned opportunities in order to correct their behavior, and they have not. So with that, I'll say thank you again for the opportunity to be with you all today, and for your commitment to stop the deliberate harm for millions of Americans. So thank you.